Now you're unmuted.
Welcome to the Spark of Madness podcast. I'm Matt. That's Ben.
I'm sorry, I have a lot of
That's
buttons.
Ben.
It's not
Whoa!
off yet.
Hey, and that's Aaron over there.
Hey, I'm competent at a computer.
Hey, that was a fancy transition. I like that quite a bit.
I made it myself.
You did good.
And also on the line, we've got a returning guest, Wesley Aaron Roth. Although we don't have a video feed of him this time.
The wise and omnipotent.
Say hello, Wesley.
Buongiorno.
It's like voice of God just coming through.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
He's coming through the green screen.
Who was it? So last week on our show, we did a showdown of 3 M. Night Shyamalan movies. We did, what did we do? Unbreakable, Signs, and Sixth Sense.
Yes.
And the two of them, the fools,
Ben and I seem to agree.
arrived
on
at the Signs as their favorite. I came up with Sixth Sense.
Because
and then,
he is mainstream.
what a twist.
Do you guys like it more than I like it?
Let's move on, shall we?
Hurting my feelings.
We're already
Sound like Grover.
Yeah. But Wesley, so we did that in because a new movie is coming out this weekend, which is Glass, which is completing this kind of trilogy M. Night setup. And that was when Wesley messaged hey, I would love to come on the podcast. Wesley, what kind of sparked that interest?
Do tell.
To be on the podcast?
No.
Or what? You went to Glass, and I don't know
Yes.
if I don't know if you're a big M. Night Shyamalan fan or you just happened to go see it. But right after, you're I would love to be on the show to talk about this movie.
Oh, I've been stoked for this movie since I found out it was coming out. I love Unbreakable, and I went into Split having no idea, and was super surprised. So
Before you go on though, what's a better movie, Unbreakable, Signs, or Sixth Sense?
Signs.
Yeah, he breaks the tie. He breaks
There's no
the
tie.
There wasn't a tie.
You're just piling on now.
He makes a statement.
Thank you. Jeez.
I get it. I'm wrong. Okay.
Oh, sorry, man.
All right, let's talk about Glass because it just came out. You referred to it in your share, Wesley, as the East Rail Trilogy. Is that what people are calling this?
Because of the train name?
Because of the
Perfect.
train.
Oh. Well, let's start kind of giving people, let's not do spoilers now, but if you're interested in where this movie goes based off of the previous ones, how would you guys sum up the plot of this?
How about Wesley sums it up?
Okay, Wesley.
Yeah, you do the work,
You
man.
guessed. Omnipotent. Go.
Of just this one or the entire 3?
Just this one.
Just this one?
I think you'll have to mention kind of the other ones a little bit, but go ahead.
This is actually the toughest one just because it is it's sort of a culmination of I guess 18 years of storytelling. It's the meeting of the characters that M. Night has created in the last 2 movies, and the ultimate resolution of I would say Mr. Glass's master plan.
And what a master plan it was.
Yeah.
It accounted for many things.
Well, someone's not pulling his punches.
He always has a plan. I mean, I thought it. So I hadn't seen Split going into our M. Night podcast. I'd only seen Unbreakable. Then I watched Split right afterwards, and then seeing this. So it's all kind of fresh in my mind, and to see James McAvoy kind of bring back that character in all the different ways, and now they've expanded on it.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the movie. All spoilers now, especially because it's a new movie. We want to call that out. And at the end, we'll rate it. Yeah?
Sure.
All right. Where do you guys want to start with this one?
Can we start with how disappointed I was in one aspect of this?
Sure.
Why? It was not so much a sequel to Unbreakable and Split as it was just Split 2.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke too,
Which is not to say that that's bad.
But yeah,
It's not what I wanted, though.
there was no Mr. Glass in a Mr. Glass movie. To me,
Well, he was there.
He was there, but it wasn't.
And
really
same with
about
Bruce
him.
Willis. They were both there, but they were not the focus at all.
No, it was Split. He was more they.
It felt
Interesting.
a little. It felt a little bit more at best, you could say it was an even distribution of all three, if not, or at least they were trying to give equal face to each
But
one.
I think it should be more about Glass.
Right. And so that's kind of where,
Yeah.
especially given the name of the movie, like give him.
And David Dunn got the axe, man. He barely does anything in the movie.
Yeah. And like I love the build up of like the Beast and him, especially at the end of Split. Oh, he's gonna interact with David Dunn, you know what I mean? Unbreakable, you know what I mean? Character, but they really didn't. They did, but they really like it wasn't like a built.
You're talking about the finale of Glass, like that they're gonna showdown.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And they do.
But not really.
Yeah.
Wesley, what do you think? Do you agree?
Do I agree with the title? Like, I'm sorry.
Should
You're
it have
asking
been
very
called Split
vague
2?
questions, so I'm trying to like.
The question is, should it have been called Split 2?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think that the name Glass isn't necessarily a reference to the character, but what this character has caused to happen.
He shattered
sort of the
lives, are you
catalyst.
saying?
Well, he's the catalyst. This is all, the only
Yeah,
reason we
'cause
know about
the
it is
origins.
because of him. So it's
And all the superheroes in this universe exist in Philadelphia.
And they all got on that goddamn train in one
Yeah.
way or another.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish your thought, Wesley.
well, I disagree with that. I think like I think that this is less of a literal film. That I saw it as more of a representation of ideas.
Oh, yeah,
And
no, you're right.
I never expected this big throwdown, especially like knowing that it was only, a $19 million movie, self-financed by the director. I was like, they're not going to fight. As soon as they said we're going to the top of the building, I was like, well, that's not going to happen.
And look, I'm more expressing 19 years ago me wanting to see something in a sequel to Unbreakable, and this is not what I expected. So it's a good movie.
Did you see Split?
No.
Well, that ruins it all for you. Split's pretty good.
Well, this movie gives you everything you need to know.
I would
Yeah.
actually say that this movie does it does enough with the Split side, like to work it in enough that
I actually think Split would make you more frustrated because it at the end it shows Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I
And
know
it
about that.
And it builds up like something like, oh man.
What I'm getting at is this movie follows all the logistics as Unbreakable did. It's grounded. It doesn't go too far in any direction. And I should have known not to expect anything more. And I'm not disappointed with it. It's not what I expected.
So let me kind of we'll see which way this comment goes.
Sure.
For me, this movie followed the same pattern that we talked about for the other three. That it starts kind of a little bit slow, but it like captures your interest, and then it really takes its time in really interesting ways with your characters.
Yes.
And it's like I'm going to set up this awesome premise idea. In this case, it's a sequel, so it's a little bit different. But I'm going to bring them all together, and we're going to see how those different combinations in this one place all like elevate different ideas and how they talk and interact with each other. It's really interesting, and we all know that it's going to this one place, but then it gets to that one place, and it's like boom. 15 minutes more of the movie, and we're going to rush through this, and then here's that other twist thing, and it just like kind of all gets jumbled together at the very end really quickly.
Gosh, you set the template and it was right.
And I'm not saying that's bad.
No,
there's
no.
there's so much to like, and then for me personally, it kind of started to I started to lose interest because it didn't live up. The ending didn't really live up for me.
I think the same thing happened.
And I'm not even talking about just the twist part of it. I just thought like once the kind of big rah-rah showdown, but to Wesley's point about some of the ideas, I'm curious if these are the ones you were referencing, but it almost felt like it was almost kind of like twofold that he really was pushing like how just seeing other people's superpowers, other people demonstrating these amazing abilities, like is the catalyst it empowers other people to like awaken in themselves those things. But then the other side of the coin, that others are trying to push you down, the people who are trying to do that, like trying to suppress superheroes.
Who are these people?
So in this movie,
It happens to be a secret society.
I actually thought it was like M. Night being like, screw you haters, tried to rip on my movies. Like, I'm a superhero. Like, I thought there was a little bit of like meta
That's a
M.
bit of a
Night.
deep take. I don't
you,
know.
mean, you mean like the literal critic?
Is this
that
Lady
he
in the
made
Water all
Lady in
over
the
again?
Water? You know, that gets eaten by the dog thing.
So yeah, so Wesley, you were
Fuck you, critic.
you were mentioning mentioning ideas and stuff, and like maybe it's not so literal. What were you thinking?
So going into it, I didn't know what to expect, but once I think they're called the Court of Clover, is the name of the.
They did have clover tattoos.
Yeah, I think they're called the Court of Clover, and they. I think they're just supposed to represent society, like just as a whole.
Society.
Society.
we're all, I was tying my shoe
superheroes
for that joke.
Is just creative people. Like I think it's just people who are different, people that think differently, people that live differently, people
Or
that
people who think that they're different.
You know,
Yeah.
there's.
yeah.
Do you remember?
Well, that's what he's trying to represent, I think.
that
And
plot, but Wesley, that plot doesn't it remind you of Jumpers?
I never saw
Oh
Jumper.
God, Jumper.
Which Samuel L. Jackson's in that too.
Yeah.
I forgot. Well, it's like I actually like Jumpers. It's not a bad movie, but there's a plot of these teleportation people that exist, but there's a society of normal people that want to destroy them.
There weren't trains
like
in that
X-Men.
movie by chance, were there?
Well, Wesley, they also there was a heavier. I mean, it kind of started with Split, and obviously Unbreakable. He's a protector, but then they really brought it back in this one. How their like crusade was for like broken people too. Like that, I don't know. That's
Right.
felt a little bit more.
That was
prevalent.
That was the Beast.
That was the Beast's focus, and I
yeah,
and I think part of that is like people
who could ever live
who people
without
are
the
different
Beast?
often do feel broken because of how society treats them, and I think that's kind of a heavy-handed like metaphor to play, but it worked, and I think that he was operating on multiple levels. So I get it out there. The spectrum is, of hate to love. I just into love on this movie, like not 100% love, but just crossed the barrier into love for the movie. So the entire there were I think missteps that he made to really send home what I at least I interpreted it
What
or perceived him
missteps?
trying to say. What missteps?
In your opinion, what missteps?
Well, I think a really interesting thread would have been giving what's her name, Casey, Anya Taylor-Joy, giving her a rogue-esque power.
You mean
I
the
like
girl that looks like a hammerhead shark?
Oh, that's brutal.
She does not look like a hammerhead shark.
Oh my god.
What's
she's
brutal
very,
about that?
very
It's right
cute.
there.
I think
Wait, she had
spot on.
Wait, she
Her eyes are like right here.
I didn't say she's
right.
ugly. I
No.
said her eyes are very far apart.
I actually want to. Wait, so you're saying
are far apart.
she had a rogue power?
Girl.
No, I'm saying
he wished he had her. He's trying to.
that's
But
what
he would.
I would have.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
It would have
Okay.
further tied them
You mean
together.
the girl that looked
like that.
a
Like
hammerhead
if her power was because what is Kevin Wendell Crumb but a fragmented human being, and he develops the Beast to protect, Kevin, and all of his personalities are something to do with his past. So he has the authoritative but loving female, as the antithesis to his mom. He has the permanently 9-year-old boy to represent his lost innocence.
Go away, little
everything is representation of him, all to protect him. So what if she's the thing that, like they talked about, touch? If her touch was the thing that reunited all of those fragments into one being.
See, I'm gonna
And how that could play with the other two people as well.
Here's I'm gonna try and I would like
Sound it
to
out.
circle back to some of the things you're gonna say, Wesley, but specifically with the James McAvoy Kevin kind of thing. I thought the arc and kind of the past trauma and like how Casey's character related to and the importance that then she played in this movie. I thought they did a much better job of communicating, overcoming like shared trauma experiences in that movie, that they didn't need to just kind of rehash a lot of it. And then the fact that they made such a big deal, I don't know, I felt like that was kind of unearned when he just she was able to summon Kevin to like control
Yeah, it was
the
a
light
little
all
easy.
of a sudden. It felt a little again.
Well,
This
it was because the Beast spared her, and so that changed. Kevin's actually in control the whole time. You know, he really is like the god of those people.
But at the same time, like it didn't fit the character at the end of the movie. Like I thought she she didn't want to. She'd be not like wanting to be near that thing. Still, you mean it didn't make sense?
I don't think so.
She had
I think
Stockholm syndrome
because her superpower that she didn't have was the ability to overcome trauma. How she prevailed over her uncle, her abusive uncle, and so she saw in Kevin what she felt growing up. So that was their connection. Was that he was abused by her mother, she was abused by
all
her
of that. But I guess my whole point was just all of that was already done in Split. Like and maybe it didn't get resolved in the sense
I think
that
it got set up in Split, but this was the payoff.
I suppose. I do want to talk about just James McAvoy. I want to gush about James McAvoy for a minute because
He's so dreamy.
he was. I mean, I loved him in the first movie, but we were cracking. Because Ben and I saw this together. We were just like it was amazing, especially the like supercut. Yeah,
he was wiping my tears and I was wiping his. Of laughter.
Do you like Kevin now? Like, just and how he just seamlessly jumped between all of these characters. I love this performance.
I'm going to tell you what though, and I think the reason why his performance was so good is because M. Night Shyamalan didn't write it really. Those are ad libs. Those had to be ad libs of his doing it, and like that's why it's funny, because it was good. It was good because it felt natural and real. Like the line like. Go away, little duck. Like what did he say? Like
yeah, that's what he said. He said it
move along,
a couple times.
Move along, little duck.
Yeah.
Like the way he said it was like so funny. It was good.
What did you think, Aaron? As somebody who didn't see Split, this was your first kind of foray into this character.
I had fun with it. I mean, that's really the reason to see this movie, I would say.
You got to see Split.
I will. I just didn't get around to it. I got other things besides podcasts. I'm not going to list anything. It was...
I like the echo laugh.
Good job, Wesley. You played your part. I enjoyed his different personalities, and he did them so well that you can tell who he is without him saying anything. Mm-hmm. The body language is there. He's clearly practiced this, and he's very good at it. Mm-hmm. And gosh, he's a good Professor X.
Yeah.
Can I... I've never...
Shout out to him as Professor X.
Yeah. He's the only person who actually looks somewhat like a young Patrick Stewart. Very good job on his part.
What about Tom Hardy?
No.
That's actually pretty funny.
What about...
remember Star Trek Nemesis?
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole joke there.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy played
I
the
forgot about
clone
Star
of
Trek
Patrick
Nemesis.
Stewart.
The fake nose.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't even know the nose was
I'm
fake.
going to bring us back here. Let's talk about...
Remember that movie Glass?
Yeah. Let's talk about Mr. Glass. Let's talk about Samuel L. Jackson. Because, we kind of mentioned how Bruce Willis was much more minor character, but they did give Samuel L. Jackson some stuff to do.
Yeah, they did.
And he started the movie very differently than went from an acting standpoint, very different than when he
doesn't say anything.
What did you guys think?
I thought it was. I thought
what they did with him.
I thought it was good until the fact that it was a suicide mission. I thought he didn't need to. Like, if he's so mastermind, you can get out of that little cheap ass security.
But again,
place.
this is grounded.
Yeah. Yes and no.
It's also. I still think you're doing the Annihilation argument when somebody says they watch Annihilation, they go, why didn't this person just do this? It's because it's not a representation of the idea they're trying to convey. So you have an idea you're trying to convey, and you have to fit
it doesn't fit the narrative.
So logic and actual motives for real life is thrown out the window because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yes,
because
it's a movie.
Parable.
Reminds me of The Last Jedi.
It's a comic book, Ben.
So nothing makes sense.
It makes fine
That's
sense.
like,
Would your
no, it's like
character
saying, why
do
did
that?
King Midas just blank? It's like, well, because there's a lesson to be learned from what he went through.
There's a lesson to be learned to this.
It's similar.
Always 2.5 hours.
It's similar in that both, well, spoilers, I guess, in that both the Beast and David Dunn die so easily in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
That's why We have to fix our potholes in this city.
I mean, the Beast tanks 2 shotgun blasts in Split, and then one tactical bullet takes him down.
But
in this
he
one.
wasn't a
Kevin
beast.
took the
Yeah,
shot.
he wasn't
Yeah,
the beast.
but can someone explain to me why the Beast is super and nothing else about him is?
Or
Or is that something
Brian
I'm not
changes the
meant to
mind.
know?
Well,
It's in Split.
Yeah, they kind of explained that each personality, not necessarily superpowers, but he actually gains. Like if he has
Height,
for instance,
weight.
if he has a character that is just super smart in a certain topic, he just acquires it when he switches to that persona.
No, I get that.
There's some other ones
But
too.
the beast is all of them at once.
I completely-
right? Like the
No.
horde.
No,
No, it's separate.
The body is the horde.
yeah, yeah. It's
I
just-
get that he
Oh,
takes
the
different
Beast.
properties in the different personalities, but is there any explanation as to why that is?
he's a comic book
that's-
superhero. Like
yeah,
I mean,
he's a
from
superhero.
history. Like Glass believes that. Which I thought this was weird in Unbreakable, honestly, but he believes in this. Like it's all based on truth, and that comic books are a representation of history, and
No,
that
yeah,
these people are all real.
I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
Let me say this. It makes sense for the movie, and I liked it. And the movie is more so. It's about, again, like Unbreakable.
Family.
It's about family.
Environment.
Can I speak? I'm gonna mute you.
Go for it.
It's
Fake
about
news.
realizing one's potential and finding your place. And then this movie, especially at the end, is about what will you do with that and what legacy will you leave. That's what this is about. Now you can talk.
Yeah,
I think you're right about the first half.
Okay.
Well, and
I
the
think
second
you're.
half, but-
You're
I think I'm gonna mute you.
you're
now.
only half an idiot.
No, I'm not calling you an idiot. I think that it's about finding your truth.
Yeah, and
finding
I'm
your
going a
place.
step further
and also,
because
I think
Unbreakable-
overcoming trauma.
Yes.
with the,
Unbreakable
you know,
already
the-
did those, and
as-
Split already did those. So this one's taking it a step further.
Yeah, with the missing Robin Wright pen, or Robin Wright. Sorry.
I mean, she's in it for like 2 seconds.
Or
Or like a stand-in. That was M. Night Shyamalan.
yeah.
Another appearance. Okay.
M.
the,
Wright Shyamalan.
The last thing I wanted to quickly touch on was
Bum.
not just the Clover Agency's reveal at the end, but
I'm
also,
sorry, that is the only part I did not want
but
in this
also
movie.
Sarah,
Yeah,
just
me
Sarah
too.
Paulson in general, and her character, and
Was
she was
she in
a
Bird
pretty
Box?
primary.
Yes.
she had a
She was.
busy year.
Yeah,
she
I-
was in Ocean's 8 too.
Yeah, I was waiting for her eyes to bleed out.
She just drives off the
Yeah.
cliff.
Could you
This is
please
a-
kill yourself and improve this movie?
Please.
Gee.
I liked her.
No, she's fine. I just didn't want that plot line in this movie. That's all.
She's quite pale.
In retrospect, I hated her character. I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really understand. So she was trying to. She's part of this agency, but she goes to these psychiatric facilities that not just in Philadelphia. It sounds like that she goes all around, and she tries to suppress the superpowers and
because
She tries
reasons.
to convince them to be normal.
yeah.
And I think I find that interesting because it's not like it's not malicious. She's like, we don't want to do what we.
It's not malicious, but we're gonna kill you for the good. For the good.
If we have to.
No, because it's good. Because we think so.
This is sort of like the reverse of The Incredibles. This movie.
No, but they act like they have all this authority. On what grounds? What happened to give you this
I agree with
authority?
you. I think they're wrong, but I think it's more interesting that they're not just like this clandestine conspiracy group that
But
is
that's
out
how
for
it
world
plays.
domination.
We're taking you down because you're not doing the things the way we like.
Why wasn't Thanos in this movie?
I guess I'm from a plot character standpoint.
Nobody
I guess
can be super.
it makes sense, I guess, but maybe it was
Yeah.
just kind of rushed through. For
This
me,
is
though,
me
I just
nitpicking.
It made sense that
I don't think I like her as an actress. Maybe
What?
Maybe
Are you
that's
serious?
Well, she's a fine
Yeah.
actress.
fine.
She
maybe
played
that's
her
a
part
bias.
and played it well.
she
She's phenomenal.
I don't
she
know.
takes
I don't
a
know.
hot bath of bleach
Whoa.
I think
because
she.
she's pale.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know. I just didn't. The role she was playing and then how it kind of unfolded. I don't know. I don't know if the choices to have how she delivered her lines and stuff like that. It also
also
never felt
M. Night Shyamalan
it never
dialogue.
felt believable. Or maybe it was the dialogue.
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
She spoke very slowly, directly into the camera, much of the movie.
Yes, and
Hypnotic.
it was very good. And they also made the color choices: the purple, the
Yeah.
even
I
like,
thought it was shot.
even-
the whole movie was shot.
It
well,
was
I
even
thought.
like in
Yes,
the
it
comic
was.
book section. The villains section was neon purple.
Yeah.
It's just like Unbreakable. It's the same store.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's even the same actor at the counter as the guy who
Yeah.
asked.
Whoa,
Yeah.
mind blast!
Well, why aren't we going to talk about it?
I think that I agree to an extent about the twist, the quote unquote twist, is that I think there could have been a scene
What were the twists?
at the beginning. What this is a secret society just came
Oh.
out of nowhere.
And
I think you could have started this movie just like Split and had her talking to what you think is a group of other doctors about this condition.
But then it should be called Clover instead of Glass.
Yeah.
But then you could have gone back to that of her talking and realized, oh, she was talking to this, society of whoever.
So second secret society.
Yeah, and the other twist is that Kevin's dad was on the same train as David.
Oh,
Dunn.
right.
I thought
Yeah.
the twist was going to be that
Oh. Well, that was in the
Bruce Willis was his dad.
no, but no, but
That's what I
the-
saw coming because
Yeah.
the train. And what is the first shot of Unbreakable? It's him trying to cheat.
But I knew that they showed in
So I was
Split
like,
like when he
holy
went to
shit.
the train, like you knew that I put together in Split that it like that was the same train.
So
Remember in
Yeah,
Split,
yeah, yeah.
like they already revealed that.
Yeah,
That really
yeah.
wasn't a twist.
well, but I mean, it was pretty cool how they worked it all together,
Yeah.
just kind of seamlessly. Here's what I'm gonna ask: is we don't have a whole lot of time left, but when it comes to this message of like we want to reveal that there are these superhuman people that can do good things for the world, and that is going to spark other people and awaken them, and it's going to just uplift people to use their strengths and gifts in new and unique ways and overcome these haters who want to suppress them and the Clover people. But like the means to which Glass, who is the one who is facilitating all of this to happen and has that noble vision and is the one that is making sure that the cameras are there's a stream
Make sure
of,
all the emails are going out.
Make sure everything is seen, and this is my purpose is all of this. He is a villain. Like the things he did to make all of that happen were horrible.
He's not
Like, it's-
bad. He's
it-
just drawn that way.
It's so cloudy of a
But, yeah,
muddy of a.
I don't really care about that because he's a villain, but
He's a morally
Because-
ambiguous.
But they,
But, you know,
they
but-
end
but
the
no, but-
movie on so much positive, and it's all his kind of perspective and voice.
He was not a mistake.
But Magneto's the same. But Magneto's the same way, though. Magneto's the same way in X-Men, where he's he does good things, but he'll do. He's the same. He's the same. He represents goodness,
But
in
it's
the
clear.
same way. But the
it's clear though. It's clear. Like Glass is Glass a hero in any.
No, but-
or is he
but-
just
but-
willing to kill millions of people just
for
to
his
find
kind,
a couple?
for his kind, for his kind, just like Magneto, for his mutant kind. It's the same. He's the same character as Magneto. Now,
I think they ended up the
But
movie
no-
ended up on like average Joe's messaging
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
but like that's not what Glass was going
what
for.
what I didn't like about the movie is like, how is that like these security cams gonna like people are gonna be skeptical of those videos? It wasn't
yeah, you
like,
can fake anything.
Exactly, it wasn't
Fake
compelling.
news.
This looks like an M. Light movie. I don't want
This
to
looks
see
like a
this.
$19 million production.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's not even video, even if it's compelling enough, is still not compelling evidence. And the specter where it's like where's this video coming from? If it was captured by a group of people, that would have made more sense.
If it was captured by those YouTube brats at the start of the movie with their flying punches,
Yeah.
maybe people that'd get a ton of views.
And just like here's something that's not believable. It's uploaded to their site, right? And like they're at the Grand Central Station watching all this stuff. It's like that's not how the internet works.
All you gotta do is
You know?
DDoS their server.
Oh, maybe that's true. Or maybe there's a lot of like bots that he made that will.
yeah.
Yeah, he was writing that code awfully fast.
All right.
That's got to be the most nitpicky.
Yes.
No,
We nitpick the things we love.
You already got rid of the stuff I didn't like. You already talked about the stuff I didn't like with the whole thing. Can I explain one thing where I think
Real quick. Yep.
I think this would have been a better movie if they just didn't have that secret society in it, and it was just more about Glass teaming up with the Horde and make it a very simple comic book movie about them. You know what I mean?
Go straight villain.
Go
movie?
straight villain, and like make it about Glass. I think having her in it took away from Glass's thunder, and I think it should have been all about Glass and how he controlled the Horde.
Yeah, so I think you're
had that same storyline at the end where like the Horde kills Glass.
You're
like
clarifying exactly what. So while the scenes and the visual cinematography, all of that was really good. This basically for most of the movie, she was to present like skepticism for the audience, to doubt that they are heroes or doubt that they have like all these things are real. But like we saw 2 movies. We've seen.
We already
know. Like you can't just erase all that stuff or say we were rationalizing it. Like no, we saw them do it. Like. So it felt like a waste of time, and then almost like just an excuse to show a couple flashbacks, which were kind of good, but I don't know. It felt kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
Necessary? All right.
Those are deleted scenes from Unbreakable, actually.
Oh yeah,
yeah, there were.
I was wondering whether they de-aged
Yeah.
Bruce for that scene or something.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
$19 million.
Yeah.
Wesley,
Well,
we're gonna give you the kind of first crack at how you would rate this movie, and also if there's anything we haven't mentioned yet that you want to kind of use to reinforce what your rating is. Go ahead.
8 out of 10.
8.
Ooh.
8, yeah, maybe 7.5, but I'm leaning towards 8 because the more I think about it, like after it's over, the more I like it. Because I felt very Last Jedi-esque walking out. The first time I saw The Last Jedi, I was like, I don't know what to think. I was sort of like catatonic, in shock. And then as I was talking to the person I saw it with, it started falling into place, and I was like, oh, I totally get it now. Like it just worked. And I disagree that. Not disagree, but from my opinion, like I liked the way the story went. I liked that it was this like, she wasn't there in my opinion to cast doubt for us as to whether they're heroes, but for them because they don't have the perspective that we have, which is omniscient. And so I liked that turn for David Dunn, that he had spent 18 years thinking he's a superhero, and then somebody comes in and gives him just a little bit of doubt, and how that just sends him out of control, and how that played into the whole weakness aspect and why he does inevitably end up dying in a puddle, which I think is a pretty profound and powerful visual, that like you're this guy who can do all of the things you do. You can't die. You can't get sick, from trauma, but a guy holds your face in a puddle, and because you believe it's your weakness, you're going to die. Like there's something, very compelling to me about that. Like that it wasn't this big over the top, he went Last Airbender on us, but he kept it real small in a parking lot like that. I was just like, man, I'm involved. I feel like this is something I could have been watching out the window of a hospital.
Better than being at an air runway.
He used a lot of zoom shots.
Yeah, somebody in the comments was saying how there were a lot of close-ups and stuff.
Like a lot of zoom. Like
I do also want to give a shout out to one shot in particular, because it's in the trailer, but it's just so awesome. It's that shot, the POV shot from the guy in the driver's seat of the cop car when the beast flips the car over.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
such
that's
a great shot.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, it was good.
I got what I paid for.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Aaron.
You gonna make me go next time?
You've said very forcefully. All right, I'm transitioned to me.
That's just me carrying the conversation. Now,
Go ahead.
For as much as I've been nitpicking, for what it was, I thought it was very good. Even if it didn't go where I wanted to, just because I've been waiting for this movie for 19 years, I realized we can't always get what we want, and what we get is sometimes what we need.
no editor.
All right.
Anyway, I'd give this movie a 7. I'd give this movie a 7. Not the best, but certainly not the worst.
Do you want to go? Do you want me to go?
One addendum. I liked the way that it ended on kind of a very grounded note. The characters died without too much fireworks going off. I just didn't like the information age thing with all the cameras and the emails. Just have it take place on a city street with people watching.
Yes.
That would have been better for me, but
which they were
or
going
like
to.
quite literally where they were telling us.
maybe
the
not
guy's gonna go.
not in the same way that they described, like on the top of a building. just in a street. Let people see.
Yes.
Go on.
Would you like to go, Ben, or me?
I'll go.
Okay.
For until the very, very end, because I liked what they were doing. I like, okay, we don't have to see them fight per se, but I like this whole psychological characterization of things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that worked. I like the setting. I give it a 6.
Whoa.
Whoa, Ben thinks it sucks.
Nice.
But I just was so pissed off.
You were kind of mad.
And I was like, "What the fuck, Matt? Like, excuse me, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? Like, did I miss something? Like, I didn't know. Like, when you touched me,
We kept
like,
thinking there was referencing another M. Night movie.
Yeah, it's like, this is another M. Night movie.
Like,
It's like,
what is,
I don't get what
is
happened.
this something for something else?
Yeah, I don't need everything spoon fed to me, but like they shut the curtain. You know, like
Okay, we're safe.
okay, what is this going on here?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of
Finally, that guy wouldn't leave.
So
Yeah.
I've my rating, just very quickly, I give it a 5, which for me means it's absolutely worth seeing. So if
it's worth seeing.
yeah, it hits that threshold for me. It fluctuated between a 5 or a 6. It probably would have gotten a solid 6 for me if it wasn't for the very end and kind of the normal M. Night stuff that rushed it through. But I did love how it tied all 3 of the movies together. That's something that shouldn't be under.
And it's better
understated.
than 90% of movies that are coming out right now.
That's true.
I don't know about that.
I do.
It's January.
Yeah.
Wait till Godzilla
All right,
comes
yeah.
out in May.
Yeah. Yeah, I give it a 5. So kind of 8.765. There we go.
My God.
Right down the line.
It was written in the stars.
Yeah.
Noble Romans.
So all right, so that was Glass. We've got I don't think we're doing a podcast next week, actually.
Eric's going to get a much-deserved break.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think we're going to take a week off, but we're going to post maybe like a little
I think Colin has a video for us.
little teaser for the Oscars stuff. I've got a lot to say about the Oscars nominations. that just
Clearly.
happened.
Somebody's been on a Twitter
So
rant.
that's gonna be
Fun. Probably.
Gilbert.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry, what, Wesley?
That review roundup should be ready to go up soon, right?
Sure.
You know what? We should make a song for that.
It's done. It's done. That's all I
Ready?
know.
Review roundup. Right
I
here
don't
every
do
day.
the, uploading.
Review roundup.
So we need to end the show. We've got a lot of videos coming, so keep it. So follow. Look at our little ticker at the bottom. That's where you can find us. But yeah, thank you, Wesley, for coming on again. And
Thank you. Take our awards poll, please.
Yes.
Yeah, Sparkies. Go to our Facebook page. All right.
Where is it?
Bye.
Bye.